16 Fast Ways to Catch a Liar. At Wesha TV we share limitless knowledge. How can you tell if someone is lying to you? Especially if they've been honest, most of the time you talk with them. What if they are a pathological liar? Researchers say over 90% of us lie, either at home or work. Often, it's to avoid an awkward situation or hurting someone's feeling, but the issue remains. How do we know if someone is lying? Lifehack tells us body language can be a quick tip-off. Here are some signs to watch for. Number 1. Liars typically make too much or too little eye contact. If someone is unable to look you in the eyes or is staring you down, that person may be trying to cover his or her tracks. To avoid looking at you, the liar may rub the eyes, much as a child might cover their eyes when they are inventing an excuse. When they spin a lie, they may find it difficult to look directly at you, as their gaze slides away. Number 2. Masking the mouth. People often indicate secrets with a finger to the mouth, and they may signal a lie the same way. Covering the mouth with a hand or fingers may be a signal the truth is being muffled. Be wary of pursed mouths. While lying, a person may set his or her mouth in a narrow line. Number 3. Change the subject of a conversation quickly. A liar will follow along willingly, whereas an innocent person may be confused by the sudden change in topics and will try to return to the previous subject. While there are not any specific words liars do, or do not use, many liars are repetitive. Something to watch for in conversation is repeating a question or saying, "What?" when they heard the question. Mustn't explains, as this is a liar's way of subconsciously buying time. Inconsistencies are also a red flag. If a liar is asked the following questions, the could be an indication of a lie. Did you have any cheese? No. Do you have any tricycles? No. Do you have any cars? No. They also make unnecessary declarations of truth. Liars say things like, "Let me be honest with you," and, "The truth is." One of the easiest ways to determine if someone is lying is to ask a lot of questions. The reason? The more questions you ask, the harder it is to maintain a lie. Number 4. Listen to tone, cadence, and sentence structures. While everyone speaks differently, liars tend to have a few tells. Mumbling or talking faster than normal may indicate a person is anxious to finish the conversation and avoid answering questions. Fragmentary speech is common, and tonal shifts may also occur. However, since these behaviors can happen for countless other reasons, they are only a red flag if they differ from the norm. Number 5. Watch for hand movement and gestures. People who are sincere and honest will display gestures that match, especially with their hands. For example, if you tell someone their breath is stinky, they might cross their arms, purse their lips, and clench their hands into tight fists. On the other hand, liars may show body language that indicates one thing, but their hands might not match up. This type of disconnect in gesturing is a surefire way to spot a lie. Number 6. Ear pulling. But ears aren't just for listening. Many people might not know they are a great indicator of lying, too. Specifically, pulling or touching the ears is a subconscious way to stop hearing the lies a person is telling. In more obvious cases, if a person who rarely lies feels embarrassed or really nervous, their ears might flush a bit red and rise in temperature due to increased blood flow. To mention these other variations of ear touching: rubbing the back of the ear, tugging the earlobe, putting the fingertip inside the earlobe, and bending the entire ear to cover the ear hole. Number 7. Observe micro-facial expressions. Most of the time it won't look so obvious, but there will usually be a small tell to give them away. For example, let's say you ask your boss about a possible pay increase and he says in a cheerful tone that it's definitely possible in the future. But right after asking, you notice his mouth slightly opens, lips become tense, and his eyebrows are raised and drawn together in a straight line. You might guess correctly that he's actually afraid of giving you a raise and doesn't feel comfortable bringing it up again. Number 8. Look for insincere emotions. Most people can't fake smile. The timing will be wrong, it will be held too long, or it will be blended with other things. Maybe it will be a combination of an angry face with a smile. You can tell because their lips are smaller and less full than in a sincere smile. These fake emotions are a good indicator that something has gone afoul. Number 9. Look for contradictions. The general rule is anything that a person does with their voice or their gesture that doesn't fit the words they are saying can indicate a lie. For example, "This is going to sound amazing, but it is true." Sometimes when people are lying and saying, "Yes, she's the one that took the money," they will without knowing it make a slight head shake, No. That's a gesture and it completely contradicts what they're saying in words. Number 10. Embellishing insignificant details while avoiding important ones. Liars are eager to convince you they are telling the truth, and will try to add details to make their story more believable, which actually makes their story less believable. If a person is lying, they tend to offer surplus information without prompts, and they may repeat certain phrases as they try to buy themselves time. They'll embellish insignificant details while avoiding important ones. A careful listener will start to notice that something is missing. This can make it easier to catch a person in a lie because you can jot down details of the story you are being told and then ask questions about those details later to see if they're still the same. When you say to someone, "Oh, where were you?" and they say, "I went to the store and I needed to get eggs and milk and sugar and I almost hit a dog so I had to go slow," and on, they're giving you too much detail. Too much detail could mean they have put a lot of thought into how they're going to get out of a situation and they've crafted a complicated lie as a solution. Number 11. Watch body language. Liars often pull their body inward when lying to make themselves feel smaller and less noticeable. Many people will become squirmy and sometimes conceal their hands to subconsciously hide fidgety fingers. You might also observe shoulder shrugging. Number 12. Doubt yourself. Even if you have reason to suspect, based on your research, examination and analysis of the questioning, that your suspect is lying, take a step back and try to poke holes in your conclusion. Nervousness may imply honesty. Emotions never tell you their source. You don't know why someone is nervous or angry or afraid. Let curiosity guide you. The best lie detectors aren't those who believe in their intuition. The best people at this are curious. Number 13. Observe changes in confidence. Watch carefully to see how a potential liar's style changes when they are challenged. A liar may be just as verbose when they feel in charge of a conversation, but their comfort zone is limited and they may clam up if they feel like they are losing control. The aim is a casual conversation rather than an intense interrogation. Under this gentle pressure, however, the liar will give themselves away by contradicting their own story, or by becoming obviously evasive or erratic in their responses. Number 14. Liars are good listeners. Despite what people might think, good liars know how to listen. It gives them information they can use in the future. They'll know what lies you'll be likely to believe. And by studying you, they will know exactly what to say to manipulate your actions and emotions. Number 15. Overemphasizing their trustworthiness. To be honest, liars often overemphasize their truthfulness by adding words or phrases to a statement that are meant to make them sound more convincing. However, the actual effect is usually the opposite. By adding phrases that emphasize they're telling the truth, the speaker loses credibility and weakens the argument. Overemphasizing truthfulness includes phrases such as, "To be honest," "To tell you the truth," "Believe me," "Let me be clear," "The fact is." Number 16. Going into defensive mode. How can you doubt me? Someone who is lying will quickly jump into defensive mode when questioned, acting angry or hurt if others don't seem to buy what they're saying. They may say things like, "How can you doubt me?" They attack the person asking the questions by saying, "Don't you have something better to do than to waste my time with this stuff?" They're eager to counteract any perceived notion they could be to blame, and attempt to convince others they're telling the truth. They'll often ask, "Do you believe me?" to gauge how their lie is being received. Thank you for watching. For more education content, check our prescription below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit a notification bell icon.